G'day and welcome to A Down Under Yarn. I am your host Fiona, also known as Fifykins. If you find someone on the internet called Fifykins, it is probably me. I am also the dyer behind Solar Flare Fibres. We have two groups on Ravelry. There is the A Down Under Yarn group and the Solar Flare Fibres group, and I encourage you to join both. Today is Wednesday, the 29th of January 2014. I'm back to recording on a Wednesday this week, and it's almost 5:30 in the evening. Now, two things. Firstly, I've actually got a chest infection and I've been battling it for a few days now, so I'm hopefully not going to cough too much, and if I do, I'll try and edit the coffee bits out because no one needs to hear that. I went to the 24-hour clinic yesterday, which is the bulk milling clinic where you get to see whoever is there, whichever doctor is there, but it's usually pretty quick, and I was in within 15-20 minutes, and they said, no, you've got an allergic cough. So gave me prednisolone, which is a steroid, and then Mimmel, who refuses to listen to my chest when I'm sick, says, no, I'm not listening to your chest. You need to go to your doctor, which is probably a good thing. This morning I woke up and I was actually coughing up stuff. Before, I'd just been having a cough that wasn't really productive. This morning's cough was productive. And I messaged him and said, hey, I've got gunk coming up. And he said, I think you need to make an appointment with your GP. So I did and went along. And she said my temperature was slightly high, my oxygenation level was 95%, so I've been feeling a bit short of breath, which probably explains that. And she said that I can't hear any wheezing, so it doesn't sound like asthma, because I've got my lymph nodes are up and because I'm producing something. She said it sounds like it's an infection, so I'm on antibiotics now, so hopefully that will improve things. That's probably not the most exciting thing this week. We are in cyclone warning stage. We were in cyclone watch yesterday. We heard on Monday there's a low out in the Coral Sea, and it had a fairly good likelihood of turning into a cyclone. And then yesterday the low has intensified. I don't think it's been called a cyclone yet, but I haven't actually looked at the latest map that would have come out half an hour ago, the latest advice, and that will I don't know if it's been called a cyclone yet, if it's still a low, but we are on cyclone warning. Now, the tracking has been all over the place. Last night, it looked like it was going to hit just south of Cairns, just south. This morning, it looked like it was going to hit further down towards Townsville, which is 300 k's away. It's not a very fast-moving system, apparently, which means it could intensify before it hits land. They're so unpredictable. It could still end up coming up here, which is why we're still in a cyclone warning area. We haven't even had that cancelled. So we're doing cyclone prep. So I've spent a lot of time yesterday and today doing cyclone prep. I'm about to send an email out to those people who placed an order last week. We had Monday as a public holiday and I wasn't well and didn't do very much. And then yesterday I tried to get some orders together and just haven't been to the post office. So I've still got to get orders out, and I really want to get them out first thing tomorrow morning, pardon me, because they will get on a truck before the cyclone hits. And if not, they might go out by air, I don't know. It depends what happens. And the other thing was, that with the cyclone, even if it doesn't develop into a cyclone, it stays a low. They're predicting between 200 and 300 mils of rain, which is 4 to 6 inches of rain in a 24-hour period, which will bring flooding as well. So we suspect the highway will get cut, which means nothing comes up, nothing goes down, including mail. Last year I sent things express post, and even express post wasn't going. They weren't sending anything express. So it's a bit of wait and see. But I'll keep people informed as to where it is. The other thing, of course, if you're in the club, we've had rain since last Friday, and I was going to dye the club over the weekend, but there was just no sunshine. And it's been rain, so I don't like putting dye out when it is raining. So that hasn't been dyed up yet. So I'm going to send a message to those people as well and apologise for the delay. But unfortunately, it is beyond my control. I'm trying to think what else. Kids were back at school today, which is just lovely. Jasper, who I've been quite worried about because he had that troubles last year, seems to have a much better attitude, which is great. He had a total meltdown last night, but he couldn't work out how to use his lock. It's one of those twisty padlocks. You have to turn it so many times one way, and then so many times the other way, and so many times back the other way. And he was getting confused with his rights and his lefts, I think. But finally he's got that sorted out. But he had total meltdown over it. A little thing like that. And he said, I'm not going to be able to do high school if I can't even get my locker right. So, yeah. But he seems to be quite happy. We were in the bookshop yesterday and met his English teacher, who's a new teacher to the school, and she was just lovely and wanted to have a chat to him about what his strengths were and what he needed to improve on, what he might need help with. So that was really good. Yeah, so that's that. Yeah. So let's move on to the knitting. Now, I have a finished object. Finally, the last podcast of the month, I have a finished object, my first of the year. I did finish Imogen's watermelon socks, like I said I was going to. I think this was the first one and this was the second one. No, this was the second one, because I've only got a tiny bit of green at the top in the bind off, whereas this one's got about half a top of red and half of green. But apart from that, they match up almost. They're meant to be opposites, and they are opposite almost perfectly. So I'm really, really, really pleased with them. Used up all bar 3 stripes of yarn. So I could have gone one more stripe on the cuff in the first one. I just didn't want to risk it. And I'm going to be starting a sock yarn blanket sometime soon, so I should have enough for a square, mitered square. So that'll be really good with that. So they're done. I gave them to Imogen and said I'll just need them back for the podcast, and she goes, oh, you might as well keep them until then. So I can now go and give them to her. She wouldn't try them on because she figured her feet were sweaty, but I'm pretty sure they're going to fit. The first one fit okay, so I'm pretty sure the second one will fit as well. So that's really good. Now this is the Yarn vs Zombies bite base, I think it is. I'll have it in my show notes. I'm really sorry, I should have looked it up. I haven't got any show notes today. And it is an 80-20 merino nylon, 400 yards, and I think I used all bar 10 yards, but it was a big skein, so there you go. I use my 2.5mm needles, because that's what I use. Use 1.5s. That's what I use on most of my socks, except if the yarn's a bit thicker, I go up to a 2.75. So that is those. Did the Fish Lips Kiss heel, which I just love, absolutely adore. I think it's. I will try another couple of heels, even though I found this one, it's still that thing of, oh, I want to try another one. And I suppose with short row heel variants, which are some of the other ones I want to try, if I decide that I don't really like it, it doesn't take much to knit a heel like that, and I can just rip back. So yeah, but it worked perfectly in these socks. And it's great to have them finished, because I did cast them on last August. So they're done. My Isolde Mystery Shawl, the Follow Your Arrow shawl, I have in my Girl Cave bag. I've got everything in bags at the moment because it's all about to go inside. I've just got things sitting out here, so I'm about to move everything inside, getting ready for the cyclone or whatever. We've had some really big gusts of wind, and you can hear rain dripping behind me. I can still hear insects. The bats were still out this evening. When the bats are still here and the birds are still around, you know that there's not a lot to worry about. Someone who's been here a while told me that. Now this one I'm using Bendigo Woolen Mills that was dyed for me for a swap a few years ago, and it is just beautiful in shades of purple and red and pink all through it. And if you haven't done Clue 3 and you don't want to be spoiled, you might want to look away. As you remember last week, I had to rip out Clue 2, so that has been done again. Goes around this way. There you are. Clue 2 is the lace panel there. At the time I wasn't too sure about it, but now that I've done Clue 3, which you can see down the bottom there is like little arrows on the bottom, I'm really, really pleased I did that. I think this flows just really, really nicely. Yes, I would love the asymmetry, and I'm hoping that might come back in one of the later clues. Even if it doesn't, I really, really am liking this shawl. I like the shape. It's very hard to see because it is on a short needle, but I'm really, really, really pleased with it. Looking forward to the next clue. This was a very, very short clue, and I had it finished on Monday evening before I went to bed. And Isolde did say that next week's clue will be longer. I'm expecting more lace next week. We'll see how we go with it. So that is that. Now, I've done a few rows on my, might as well show you, because I didn't show last week. In my slipped stitches, Jane Austen versus Zombies, or Jane Austen and Zombies, whatever it is called, big bag, my sweater bag, with a, there we are, with a, and now I have my low tide cardigan. Just that's gone. It's okay. Just had to take a breath. Sorry about that. I think I've got a dicky-do there from where I was last time on podcast. So I haven't actually done a lot more. This is in Woolmize Pure in the Aquarius colourway. I have the sleeves on. I think I mentioned a couple of weeks ago I really stuffed up with one of the sleeves and ripped it out and started it again. I did wrap and turn short rows, which I'm really happy with the way the pearl side came out. Not so happy with the way the knit side came out, but it is what it is. I've woven in most ends except for the ends of the sleeves. So it's got the beautiful lace paneling there. I have to get to 13 inches and I think I'm at 6 or 7. So I just need to get busted out with this, and it's something I will be able to get on and do quite soon, because I would like to finish that as well, even though it's not really the weather at the moment. So that is that one. I have my mystery project, which is over there, which I've been working a heap on this time. This is for the Loopy U swap. Absolutely loving it. Really, really loving this project, and I can't share it with you, but it is something I'm working on, and will go up on my project page once it's been delivered. Now, the other thing I pulled out is my Aranami shawl. Now, if you've been watching the podcast since the beginning, I did work on this a bit in January last year, but I haven't really worked on it since. So, here we go. This is the Aranami shawl by Olga. Let's have a quick look. Sorry. I did have it up. Oh, the internet's not connected. Our modem's been playing up, so I do apologise. Oh, it'll be up on my thing. Of course it will. Here we are. Aranami shawl by Olga Baruya Kefelian. Pretty sure that's how you say it. Olga Jazzy anyway. And I really, really love this shawl, but I keep putting it down. It's modular. So, in the pattern, the sample pattern, it goes in shades of grey and looks like the sea. I decided to do it like the sunrise and do it in shades of yellow, orange and red. So, it's got the shadow on it down there. This is using Biggin Designs yarn. 4-ply Merino First Cross. Softest premium all Australian wool. 196 yards per 50 grams. Yeah, so it actually makes it quite a heavy fingering. And that's what it is. So this is actually my 4th colour here, which is the Red Earth. If I could pull my project page up, I could tell you what all the other colours were, but they are actually on my project page. I'm in my 3rd colour, and this today, I actually did that one there, and have picked up for the next one along. I weave in my ends as I finish a row. So I've woven in all the ends back from that row there, ending there. But I keep these ones here until I have picked things up, because I don't really want to weave them in and then be picking up stitches through woven in stitches, even though I probably would weave in down that way anyway. Whatever I do, I keep them there. It also helps as a guide when I'm picking up stitches. So I'm hoping to get this finished in the next while. This is my 2nd row across. I think I've worked out I've got 8 or 9 of this colour to go, moving across, and then I've got the final colour as well. So if I do 1 or 2 a day, I should get it finished sometime soon. This is my longest whip. It's been on the needles for almost 2 years. And I do like it, and I want to get it done. And I've told myself that once I finish this, I can cast on my mitered square blanket. So that's something that I have to look forward to. So that is that. This is in my, where is it? Stitch Pixie bag, which I got from Tangled Yarns. Really like this bag. It's a really, really nice size. It just needs to go through the wash. It's got a bit of marks on the end there. But a really nice size box bag. Finally, I'm about to cast on a test knit for a friend who has designed the most amazing shawl. And because I will not be showing you the test knit for a while until it's finished, I thought I would show you the yarn I'm using. I'm using Solar Flare fibres. Sorry about that. 3 colours of Solar Flare fibres. This is the Yi base, which is the Australian Merino nylon, and it is the Bud Green, Rock Face in the middle, and Bougainvillea. So those 3 colours there, going into the shawl. So I'm really looking forward to working on that. It's a very interesting construction. So that is there. In this bag, which I can't remember who this bag's by, and I have mentioned it before, and I really am sorry, and I meant to look it up, but I haven't, and of course the internet's not working. So that is that. So I'm going to be quite busy over the next couple of weeks. Of course, the Ravelanics start Friday week or Saturday morning our time. I would like to finish before then my loopy project, and that should be able to be done, and have quite a bit of done on my cardigan, my low tide. I am going to knit the Far Away So Close, which is a Karina Spencer pattern. I have some Three Irish Girls original yarn in the Wexford Merino silk, which is a 50-50. It's beautifully stunning, and I have two colours. The only thing I'm doing is a couple of people have done before me. In the pattern, it's almost like a lace sampler all the way down with some garter bits interspersed. All the garter I'm going to do in the solid colour, and then see how we go down the bottom, the ruffle at the bottom, see what yarn I've got left. I might even throw some extra repeats of different things in. So that is that. Acquisitions. I don't think I've got any acquisitions this week. No, I don't. And if I do, I'll just show them next week. So I'm just trying to stifle a cough again. Anyway, I do have spinning. I have been spinning. I won't get my wheel, but I'll show you. I've got the bag here. I threw on the wheel my You Give Me the Knits Unicorn Farts, which is a merino silk and milk that I got at Bendigo last year. As you can see, it's pretty eye-searing. What I've ended up doing, I ripped it in half. I was going to do it as a single and then Navajo ply it, but I just couldn't get the single going as I would like. Pardon me. Apologise, I will try and edit that out. I knew it was coming and anyway, sorry. I couldn't quite get the single with the colourways the way I wanted, and I thought I'm going to prefer to do this as a two-ply. So after I'd only done a little bit of it, I ripped it in half. I then discovered that even though I am worsted spinning, which is doing a short, I usually do a short forward draw. That's what I'm doing. I'm finding it easier to spin from the fold. So I've ripped them into sort of 4 to 5 inch pieces, and then I fold them over. Because each piece has so many colours through it, I found that going from the end was just all over the place, and the silk was trying to drag it away. So now I put it over my finger first and then spin from the fold. It seems to be coming along quite nicely. So I've been trying to do a little bit of that each day. I haven't done very much. I've probably done 4 or 5 of these little bits, and it's going to be just something to keep going. This is part of my Spin the Bin as well. So yay. It's the first project that I'm spinning with silk. So that is that. And yeah, it has been very hot and very sticky, and I find at the end that I have to just rub my hands together and I get a little bit of fibre, and it's all sort of bunched up, and it's not something I'm going to use anyway. Apart from that, I think that's all I've got in the way of knitting and spinning. And upcoming, shop. Now, there will be no shop update this week because we're on cyclone warning. The most likelihood is we're going to lose some power at some stage. Even if the cyclone crosses further south, the main power supply comes up to us, and if the main power supply gets severed, the whole of the north will be out of power. That will be something that will be replaced first, so we shouldn't have that long a blackout. Even if the cyclone doesn't come here, we're going to have gale force winds, which means we could be without power. I know in previous cyclones we've been without power for almost 48 hours. Mimmel, who lives near the hospital, is on the hospital grid. He gets power returned to him pretty quickly, so I'll probably move into there. It depends what happens. We'll probably move in. Depends what happens anyway. Because if you can imagine, having the steamy conditions post-cyclone, we've had so much rain, which has been great because it's cooled things down. It's also meant the humidity is right up there, and you can imagine no air conditioning, no fans, with no power. It's quite a challenge. Pardon me, and again, I'll try and edit that out. Anyway, so yeah, so I haven't been dyeing because there's been no weather to dye. And I've had all these other things to do as well, and I haven't been well. So we'll see how we go. Weather's meant to be clearing Monday, Tuesday next week. We just wait and see. It's this time of year, and it's what you have to put up with. So, no shop update. I will keep everyone updated as to how postage is going. There is still quite a bit in the shop from last week, and still some winter rainbow colourways as well. I think that's about it. So, until next week, I will say, first of all, I'll try and keep people updated as to how we are. If you follow me on Twitter or Plurk or Instagram, I'll make sure I take photos as I can. Usually the 3G network or the 4G network or whatever it is stays up, and I can get some photos up anyway. Well, that's what I found in previous cyclones. And just assume we're going to be okay, because I think that's the joy of a cyclone. You do get to prepare. We bunker inside, and kids usually sleep in the hallway. Bedroom doesn't have any big trees near it, so I feel fine and safe in there. If it does get too hairy, which even in Cyclone Yazi, which was a Category 5, which was huge, I didn't feel unsafe in the bedroom. We had planned to go into the bathroom if need be, but didn't feel unsafe. This one, it will depend. Yazi was fast moving, so that was quite good. Larry was fast moving as well. That was that one we had maybe 2006, I think. So yeah, this will be our fourth cyclone. The third cyclone, second or third cyclone was a bit of a fizzer. It came over Christmas Day, and it was only it was a low. They said it got to a Category 1 by the time it moved over land, but it didn't actually provide a lot of damage. And one suburb lost power, so yeah. That was the one, though, that provided the flooding to Brisbane a few years ago when it went down the coast. I don't think there's anything else. So you should hear from me next week. Again, I don't know how I'll go with the shop update next week. We will wait and see. It should be okay. I'm hoping we're going to get some finer weather early next week, and I'm hoping that my chest is going to improve out of sight. So until then, I'm going to say, Uru, cheers, bye.